Beyond the western flanks of the greater Himalayan range in Jammu and Kashmir lies the lesser known but enchanting valleys comprising of the present-day district Kargil of Ladakh. The mountainous valleys are drained by the tributaries of River Indus originating from the high glaciers of the Himalayan range on its leeward side. Most prominent of these drainage systems are the rivers of Suru, Dras and Zanskar, with lateral rivulet of Kanji and Wakha. The complex of valleys formed by these water bodies in the arid backdrop of the trans-Himalayan topography have clusters of oasis-like habitations and human settlements. The land available for irrigation along the banks and alluvial fans are intensively cultivated. The lower basin are dotted with plantations, mostly willows, poplar and apricot trees. The composite population of these secluded valleys are a mosaic of ethnic groups comprising of the Aryan Dards, Mongolians and Indo-Aryan Mon. Majority of the population are Muslims by faith, mainly of the Shia persuasion. Kargil town, altitude 2,704 meters. As its name is derived from, Kargil is strategically located almost equidistant from all major towns around it. It has in its past history remained as an important station of the caravans. It was developed as garrison headquarters by the Dogra general Zorawar Singh after he annexed the area to the Dogra domain in 1834 AD, and since then gained importance of administrative headquarters.
जब से इस काउंसिल की बागडोर हमने संभाली है, तब से हमारी दो चीज़ें प्रायोरिटी पे है, एक एजुकेशन और इसके बाद टूरिज़्म। टूरिज़्म इसलिए क्योंकि हमारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट एक ऐसी जगह, एक ऐसे जोग्राफियाई हालत में है कि यहाँ दूसरी कोई बिजनेस ट्रेड्स डेवलप नहीं हो सकती है। अगर हम अपने इकोनॉमी को बढ़ा सकते हैं, अपने यूथ को अगर हम कहीं एंगेज कर सकते हैं, वो टूरिज़्म है। और उसके लिए हमने काउंसिल, पूरी एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल ने ये कोशिश की है कि इस टूरिज़्म पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से करगिल को जो आज तक अनएक्सप्लोर रहा है, उसे एक्सप्लोर करके टूरिज़्म के मैप पे ले आए। उसके लिए सबसे पहले हमने ये कोशिश की है कि पूरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट के टूरिज़्म का एक सीडी बनाए, ब्रोशर्स बनाए, और इस लेवल पे इंशाल्लाह हम बहुत जल्द इसे लाने जा रहे हैं, जिसमें हम पूरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट को कवर कर रहे हैं। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लेवल पे होटल्स, यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे होटल्स हमारे पास हैं, अगरचे इसमें काफ़ी इम्प्रूवमेंट की ज़रूरत है, और होटल ओनर्स के साथ भी मिलकर हम इस सारे होटल्स को हम इम्प्रूव कर रहे हैं, उसकी कंडीशंस हम बढ़ा रहे हैं, उसमें फैसिलिटीज़ हम बढ़ा रहे हैं। इसी तरीके से ये नून कुंज देखने के लिए सुरु वैली में हम बहुत खूबसूरत ये सारी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, डाक बांगलो, गेस्ट हाउस हम बना रहे हैं। उसके साथ साथ विलेज लेवल पे डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट को अकोमोडेट करने के लिए और हमारे लोकल पब्लिक को फ़ायदा देने के लिए हम एक प्रोग्राम बना रहे हैं, जिसमें गेस्ट हाउस प्रोग्राम है, इंसेंटिव से स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के साथ टेकअप किया, और इन्होंने प्रिंसिपल मान लिया है कि कुछ आइडेंटिफाइड विलेजेस में ये गेस्ट हाउस इंसेंटिव्स दे के लोकल्स को ही वहाँ पे 2-3 कमरे बनाने के लिए लोन्स दे देंगे, इमदाद दे देंगे, उसमें वो 2-3 कमरे फर्निश्ड करेंगे, सैनिटरी फिट बाथरूम्स, टॉयलेट्स वगैरह होगा, ये सारी चीज़ें कर रहे हैं। उसके साथ साथ हम एडिशनली एक कोशिश कर रहे हैं कुछ एनजीओज़ के साथ मिल के हमारे यूथ को गाइड लेवल पे ट्रेनिंग देने की।
Today, Kargil is the second major town of Ladakh after Leh. The town is now a hub of tourism and business activities. All passenger carriers and goods carriers plying on the Srinagar-Leh National Highway stop here overnight before proceeding to their destinations on the roads emanating to various directions. This town has all the facilities of an average Indian town. A number of hotels ranging from A class to economy class are available in the town. There are 2 tourist bungalows with catering facilities. Rates of accommodation are reasonable. Mobile and telecommunication facilities are also available here. The area around proper Kargil is mainly inhabited by a people known as Purigpa, which literally means inhabitants of Purig area. The Purigpa as an ethnic group is believed to have originated as a result of the intermixing of the earliest Darg colonizers with the Tibetan nomadic tribes in the process of settling down along the river valleys. In general, the Purigpas constitute an integral component of present-day Ladakh's composite population. There are a number of sightseeing and picnic spots around Kargil. The areas of tourist attraction which can be visited with Kargil as base are the Sod Valley, with ruins of Pasari Khar and Buddhist rock statue at Chutumel. Pashkum, a historical village with scenic beauty and ruins of ancient castles. Goma Kargil, picturesque landscape panorama. Muslim pilgrim places. Islam was introduced to this area around the middle of the 16th century by missionaries from Kashmir and West Asia. The local ruler of Purig and Dras accepted the new faith, and thus it was a peaceful spread of the religion. The missionaries were mostly followers of the Sufi tradition, spearheaded by the disciples of Mir Shamsuddin Iraqi. Among the khankas and mosques set up by them, the khanka at Baru is still the most prominent and attracts pilgrims from far and near of the district. Dras Valley. Today, travelers from Srinagar drive on in the relative comfort of taxis, buses, or their own vehicles to Kargil. As one crosses the Zojila Pass, 11,500 feet, the barren landscape welcomes him. Dras Valley, the gateway to Ladakh, is a Himalayan highland locally known as Himbabs, a local name meaning the abode of snow. It is believed to be the second coldest inhabited place in the world after Siberia.
चार्ज में डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ टूरिज्म है, तो हमारा काउंसिल का यही कोशिश है कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा टूरिस्ट ला सकें, क्योंकि डिस्ट्रिक्ट करगिल में अलग अलग पहचान भी हैं और काफ़ी पोटेंशियल भी है। जैसे मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट करगिल में एक इलाका जिसका नाम दर्शिक गरखों के नाम से जानते हैं, तो इनकी अपनी एक पहचान, अपनी एक यूनिक है, जो टूरिज़्म डिपार्टमेंट के लिए या टूरिस्ट के लिए हम खोलना चाहते हैं। तो जब से हम काउंसिल में आए तो हमारे सीसी साहब और हम सभी ने ये कोशिश की कि वहाँ पे टूरिस्ट जाएं। तो इसी तरह हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में और भी हिस्टोरिकल प्लेसेस हैं, पीक्स हैं, जैसे आपको नूंगकुंग है, इसी तरह ट्रैगर हिल हैं, इसी तरह आपके तोलोलिंग वगैरह जो 1999 के बाद तो ये काफ़ी नेशनल ही नहीं बल्कि इंटरनेशनल में काफ़ी ये फेमस हो गए हैं। तो सभी चाहते हैं कि ये पिक्स देखें।
The inhabitants are tough and hardworking. Ethnically, they are believed to be the Shin tribe of Dard stock. Dras Valley poses many splendors of nature. Some of its features got fame and were much focused in the electronic media during the Kargil conflict of 1999. The wartime topographies of Tololing, Tiger Hill and Mashkov Valley are places of attraction. There are some locations attached with the Hindu mythology also. Prominent among them are the pond of Draupadi at Draupadi Kund near Pandras village. According to the local legend, Draupadi resided in the nearby cliff and used to bathe in this sacred pond. There is Pandav legend associated with a stone still auspicious for the locals, which is called the Bhim Bhat.
उसी भीम के वजह भीम के हिसाब से ही जम्बट जो बन गया
और जम्बट गांव जो है वो
नाम
भीम इसी भीम की वजह से पड़
भीम
गया है।
भीम भट बन गया बाद में। पहले भीम था, बाद में जम्बट बन गया।
This stone is located some 5 kilometers from proper Dras in a village of the same name. Just on the side of the highway, on the outskirts of Dras town, are some ancient rock carvings in deep relief. There are a number of economy class hotels in Dras, besides a 4-roomed tourist bungalow. Charges are reasonable. The valleys of Vakha and Mulbek possess a number of Buddhist monuments, including the colossal Chamba statue at Mulbek and Orgyanzong, a hermitage at Phoka, all within the radius of 40 kilometers from the town of Kargil. Folk songs and dance are performed on all occasions of social life. Folk dance of Phoka are performed on folk songs depicting matrimonial relations. The ladies of these areas wear a turquoise-studded half-length headgear, perak, and do not use the black lamb skin flaps over their ears prevalent in other areas of Ladakh. A significant thing to observe is the small purig cap placed atop the perak by the female. Shakhar Chiktan Valley. People of Tibato Dard origin are settled along the banks of Kanji Nala and its tributaries dependent on agriculture and livestock. The male wear long woolen gonchas and decorate his woolen sash with his day-to-day requirements like small yak horn, hubble bubble, a stone flint, chakmak, a knife and an ornamented spoon. While as the ladies are very fond of silver jewelry, which they proudly decorate over their woolen dresses, including brocade-rimmed woolen caps. They dance traditional folk dances and sing songs that they are very fond of. And on all social occasions, they perform their skill wholeheartedly.
Actually, to boost the tourism in the district, the main, difficulty, in my opinion, is communication, But we are lucky enough that the road between Srinagar and Kargil has been declared as a national highway by the Honorable Prime Minister during his visit this year. And with this, the whole bad stretch of the Zojila and the Ras sector will be upgraded as a national highway, and accordingly, the distance between Srinagar and Kargil, the traveling time will be reduced by 2 to 3 hours. So it will be a 4 hours journey from Srinagar to Kargil, and this will also boost tourism. And the second thing, I think that from Kargil to Zanskar, the entire valley, as you know, has a very good tourist potential with the Suru Valley, the Valley of Flowers, Rangdom, and the Nunkun massifs, and the Drangdung glaciers, and ultimately the Zanskar, with Zanskar subdivision, with all it is old and beautiful monasteries, has a tourist potential. And the distance between Kargil and Zanskar, Padum, is 230 kilometers, which we are now planning to upgrade. And for this also we are grateful to the Honorable CM and the PM, who have directed us to prepare a plan for the upgradation of these roads, and for which we have formulated a plan of almost 80 crores of rupees. That way, the Kargil to Sanku will be, upgraded as a double-way road, and from there onwards, it will be a single way, but a good and macadamized road.
The topography and hillocks are of varied color, and perhaps this enchantment might have urged the famous Dard colonist Tata Khan to establish his Gasho dynasty with its seat in this valley. The successors of his dynasty have brought the entire area of Sod and Shakar Chiktan under their sway and ruled unto the invasions of the Dogras in 1834. The old castle of these rulers at Chiktan is now in a dilapidated condition and reminds one of the glories of the golden past. The area is very famous for its rich cultural heritage, particularly in the oral traditions. The folk songs, folk tale and folklore are believed to be the treasure of history of the region. The oral traditions of folk songs and folk tales are transferred from father to son and are recited on all social occasions and during long winter nights when the elders of the family recite these to their youngsters. These are usually songs and tales of socio-political system, way of life, passions, tragedies, political upheavals, great occasions and heroes of the bygone days. The outflanks of the valley is inhabited mostly by Buddhists. Prominent among them are villages of Kuksho and Bodhkarbu. Besides these, there are the twin villages of Wakha Mulbek and adjoining villages of Fokar. These villages are repositories of rich ancient cultural heritage of the area. Believed to be the first village set up by the famous Dard colonizer Tata Khan, Kuksho has been the cradle of diverse folk traditions, folk songs and dances. Famous among the folk dances are Mendok Stanmo or Flower Festival and Shonlu. In these dances, only unmarried boys and girls participate. Holding bunches of flower decorated on a stick, they present it to the gods and goddesses, dancing with a beautiful song. This manifests their pleasure on the inset of summer after a confined winter. Another area of Chiktan where the traditional heritage of folk songs and polo has been retained till date is Bodhkharbu and Henisku. Ruins and ancient castles could be found at Bodhkharbu, Heneskut and Stakche. An impressive Photang was erected by locals in honor of His Holiness the Dalai Lama at Bodhkharbu recently. The Dards of the Indus Valley villages called Brokpa or Drokpa, these people are variously described as descendants of the wandering troops of Alexander of Macedonia, or the direct descendants of a pure Indo-Aryan tribe. By their physical features, the Brokpa are different from the rest of the Ladakhis. They are tall, well-built and fair complexioned. Their traditional dress is also distinctive. Tight trousers made from the local coarse woolen tweed worn under a short upper tunic of the same cloth, both of which are richly decorated with geometric designs along the borders and side seams. This colorful adornment is topped off with a cap heavily bedecked with a variety of beads, ribbons and rows upon rows of needles, strings of cowrie shells, etc., and the top adorned with a bouquet of fresh flowers. On many occasions, among which the most important one is the great harvest festival called Chopo Strupla, held alternately in Garkon and Dah villages, with a one-year break in between. Another compulsory tradition of the festival is the recitation of the 18 songs of the Bonona festival, a sort of oral history of the tribe, which essentially narrates the saga of the parent tribe's migration from Gilgit. Valley. Right from Kargil town to the watershed in Penzila, the Suru is the most populous and fertile valley of Kargil. The valley is famous for the scenic beauty it possesses. A well-laid motorable road runs through the entire valley, which leads to yet another Himalayan famous valley of Zanskar. one can have superb landscape ranging from high Himalayan peaks, gigantic glaciers, and alpine greenery all along the road. The inhabitants are of Tibeto-Dard ethnic stock converted to Islam around middle of the 16th century. Buddhist monuments and rock sculptures are also found in the valley. The following places have great tourist attractions.
Kargil district was first thrown open for foreign tourists in 1974, and a year after, tourist office at Kargil was established. Initially, emphasis was given to develop basic infrastructure accommodation units at major points like Dras, Kargil and Padam Zanskar. And now we have succeeded to create accommodation units infrastructure at all important tourist destinations and trekking base stations of the district. And presently we have about 6 tourist bungalows and huts at different places of the district. And a good accommodation has also come up in the private sector, as the Department of Tourism is giving incentives to private investors for creation of accommodation in private sector like guest houses and hotels. Since opening of the area for foreign tourists, tourist traffic has also increased year by year. But due to abnormal situation in the valley and border tension in Kargil in the year 1998-99, the tourist flow has declined. But now due to improving situation, it has regained, and about 12,000 foreign and domestic tourists, including trekkers, mountaineers, visited the district this year. And as an effort to attract more and more tourists to the district, 6 days Kargil festival is also organized by the J&K Tourism Department at Kargil and Padam for 6 days in the first and second week of September every year.
About 25 kilometers from Kargil, the valley broadens and a vast green area with trees in abundance is approached. It is the area formerly known as Lonche and now Trespon. Across the river are Tambis and Kannur, the twin villages on the same level of the valley. There is a famous Imambara on the hill, the architecture having a blend of Saracenic and Tibetan. It is conspicuously built on a commanding hillside. A short trek starts from here over Sapi Sapila to Shargol. Sanku, an upcoming township 42 kilometers from Kargil, Sanku is picturesquely situated in an amphitheater of green slopes and willow groves. About 2.5 kilometers from here is the famous 7th century colossal Buddha statue of Katse Khar. Short but popular treks which start from Sanku are a 4 days trek to Shargol via Fulungma and a 3 days trek to Dras over Umbala. Besides, there are the ruins of Katse Khar, which is a historic place and seat of Thi Sultan, the dynasty who ruled the area in the past. There is also the famous shrine of a scholar saint Sayyid Mir Hashim at Karpokhar, 2 kilometers from Sanku, which is a popular place of pilgrimage. A popular picnic spot 57 kilometers from Kargil, here one can have a full view of the upper Suru valley with the famous Nunkun peaks in the background. The famous meadow of Damsna with meanders of Suru valley is quite refreshing and a scenic splendor which offers an excellent camping site. There is a cafeteria with lodging facilities at this place run by Tourism Department to facilitate the sightseeing trips. The 2 villages of Tangol and Parkachik are situated in the lap of Nunkun Massif and therefore the approach basis of mountaineering expeditions to half a dozen peaks including Nun 7,135 meters and Kun 7,035 meters. The towering peaks and majestic glaciers give the visitor a thrill of being in the heart of the great Himalayan range. Scores of foreign mountaineering expeditions used to venture the peaks in the 80s. There are picturesque meadows for outdoor camping sites. In Parkachik, one can walk up to the majestic Parkachik Glacier, spilling down to the Suru River in form of a huge ice fall from the Nunkun ice plateau. One can drive just near the tail of the glacier. Further walking on top of a nearby saddle, one can have panoramic view of the entire Nunkun massif.